Imagine for a moment that everything you know, your memories, your body, your world, is a lie. Not the kind of deception crafted by governments or dreams, but something deeper. A cosmic joke written by the universe itself, where you are nothing but a fluke. Welcome to the terrifying possibility of the Boltzmann brain. The whisper in the dark. In the vast, cold silence of space, where galaxies drift like frozen dreams, there lies a question that chills even the most hardened cosmologists. What if you are not real? What if your consciousness, your sense of self, didn't emerge from a billion-year symphony of evolution, but rather popped into existence, alone and suspended in the fabric of spacetime? This is not the premise of a science fiction novel. It is a genuine scientific proposition, born from the thermodynamic musings of a 19th-century Austrian physicist, Ludwig Boltzmann. Boltzmann, a pioneer in statistical mechanics, sought to explain how order arises in an otherwise chaotic universe. In doing so, he cracked open a philosophical Pandora's box. His idea was simple, and yet devastating. In a universe governed by the laws of entropy, improbable events must still occur, eventually. Given infinite time and space, every possible arrangement of particles is bound to happen. And among these arrangements, a fleeting mind, a self-aware observer, a Boltzmann brain, entropy and the arrow of time. To understand the Boltzmann brain, we must first confront entropy, the unstoppable tide of disorder that governs our universe. According to the second law of thermodynamics, systems naturally evolve toward higher entropy states. Yet, here we are, living, breathing anomalies in a universe that should favor chaos. Boltzmann reasoned that the ordered state we inhabit, planets, stars, life, is a rare fluctuation in an otherwise entropic sea. And if such a vast fluctuation can produce a whole universe, then smaller fluctuations should be far more common. Fluctuations that form a single brain. A thinking entity with fabricated memories. An ephemeral consciousness blinking into reality. This presents a disturbing statistical conclusion: you are more likely a Boltzmann brain than a product of biological evolution. The solipsistic horror. You are alone. More alone than you could ever imagine. The people you love. Fabrications. The coffee you drank this morning. Illusion. The sunrise, the breeze, the sound of your own heartbeat. All part of a false memory imprinted on your mind by chance. The Boltzmann brain hypothesis shatters the foundation of reality. It suggests that everything we perceive may be a kind of cosmic hallucination, a brief spike in order, existing for mere seconds in the cold eternity of the void. This is not just a philosophical nightmare. It's a mathematical one. If the universe is eternal and random, then the overwhelming majority of conscious experiences should come from such transient, artificial minds, not evolved beings like us. And so, in this grim logic, the very act of doubting your reality confirms the hypothesis. The universe, in a cruel twist, offers no escape. The cosmological debate. Modern cosmology grapples with the implications of Boltzmann brains. Are they a real possibility, or a paradox that must be resolved? Physicist Sean Carroll describes them as a warning sign, a red flag that a cosmological model might be fundamentally flawed. If your theory predicts more Boltzmann brains than evolved observers, it may be predicting the wrong universe. Some propose that inflationary models of the cosmos, or theories involving a decaying vacuum, might prevent such brains from forming. Others argue that our sense of persistent, coherent history is evidence against being Boltzmann brains. Yet none of these arguments offer certainty. And so the specter remains, a ghost floating in the equations of the universe. Reflections from the edge. Let us pause. Look around you. Touch the surface of your skin. Feel the texture of your thoughts. Recall the face of someone you love. What if these sensations, these impressions, are merely the last flickers of a brain that never lived? A mind caught in a moment of unearned existence. A thought that dreams itself real before disintegrating into nothing. What if you are the only conscious entity in existence, and your existence is not even a second long? This is the raw existential terror of the Boltzmann brain. But perhaps, in facing this terror, we touch something profound. A humility. A reverence for the mystery of being. If we are not Boltzmann brains, then our origins, biological, painful, wondrous, are all the more precious. And if we are, then this fleeting illusion is, paradoxically, the only truth we will ever know. The dream and the watcher. The universe is not required to be beautiful or fair. But sometimes it whispers riddles through its silence, questions that pierce deeper than stars. Some have speculated that Boltzmann brains are the modern echo of ancient solipsistic thought. The idea that the world is an illusion, that only the self is real. Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. But Boltzmann brains challenge even that. You think. You exist. But only for a moment. Only as accident. Only as noise. Yet in this noise, there is something sacred. Because whether this universe is real or imagined, the fact remains, you are aware. You are the watcher. You are the question. The final probability. Physicists continue to debate, to calculate, to hypothesize. And yet the math is not kind. The more expansive and eternal the cosmos, the more it seems to favor Boltzmann brains over evolved minds. But we live in coherence. We experience time, growth, decay. We build. We remember. We strive. Doesn't that count for something? Or is it just a narrative we tell ourselves before the darkness returns? In the end, perhaps the Boltzmann brain is not a literal fate, but a reminder. A warning that our understanding is still fledgling. That truth may be stranger than anything we've dared to dream. And in that strangeness, in that deep unsettling abyss, we find the most human thing of all. Wonder. So, who are you? A being shaped by billions of years of evolution on a rock orbiting a yellow star? Or a spark of thought in the void, born alone, doomed to vanish? In the end, whether you're a flesh and blood creature or a quantum mirage, the experience is the same. You think. You feel. You wonder. And maybe, that's enough. This is the story of the Boltzmann brain. A story of thought, probability, and the terrifying possibility that the universe may not just create life, it may imagine it.